There's a quiet kind of power that comes with age, not loud, not flashy, but steady, like a flame that no longer needs to prove itself. In your younger years, life often felt like a constant chase. Chasing careers, chasing approval, chasing responsibilities that never seemed to end. But something shifts after 60. And if you felt it, you'll know what I mean. It's the slow return to yourself, to a place where you no longer need to fit into anyone's mold, where your choices feel lighter, your mornings more peaceful, and your no carries more dignity than guilt. This video is for you, if you've ever wondered, am I truly in control of my life now? Or am I just drifting, one day at a time? We're going to explore 5 powerful signs that show you're not just growing older, you're growing into your own power. And just as important, we'll uncover 3 things that can quietly steal that freedom, if you're not careful. Because self-control at this stage isn't about being rigid, it's about being free. Free to live life on your own terms, free from expectations, regrets, and unnecessary noise. So take a deep breath. This is your time. Let's begin the journey back to yourself. The first sign that you're truly in control of your life in later years is this simple, quiet realization. You know what you need, and just as importantly, you know what you don't. You no longer fill your days with noise just to feel busy. You no longer say yes out of obligation. You've learned that more isn't always better. And sometimes, less is exactly what brings peace. In your younger years, maybe you chased things because everyone else did. A bigger house, a fancier car, more stuff to feel like you mattered. But now you see the truth. None of those things ever defined you. And they certainly don't bring lasting happiness. These days, your version of wealth might look like something entirely different. A quiet cup of tea in the morning, a garden that grows under your hands, a phone call from someone who remembers your birthday, not because Facebook reminded them, but because they truly care. You've stopped measuring your worth by productivity. You've stopped apologizing for your needs. You've started listening more closely to your own body, your own rhythms, your own truth. And the most beautiful part? You no longer need to explain yourself. You've earned the right to live without justifying your joy. This kind of clarity is rare. It's not about being stubborn, it's about being rooted. Rooted in values that have been tested by time, loss, and love. When you wake up and choose what feeds your soul, not what impresses the world, that's self-mastery. That's freedom. And if you found yourself letting go of things, people, or expectations that no longer serve you, then, my friend, you're already more in control than you think. There comes a moment in life when you stop living by the clock and start living by your energy. That moment is another clear sign you're truly in control of your life. You begin to realize that not everything deserves your time, and even fewer things deserve your energy. You no longer rush through your days like you're chasing some invisible finish line. Instead, you move with purpose, with intention, with presence. You say no more often, not because you're rude, but because you understand the cost of every yes. Every hour you give to something that drains you is an hour stolen from something that could nourish you. You've learned that rest isn't laziness, that slowing down isn't failure, that some days, sitting on the porch and watching the wind move through the trees is the most productive thing you can do. There's a kind of power in knowing when to pause, when to cancel a plan, when to step outside and simply breathe. Others may still chase full calendars and overflowing to-do lists. But you've tasted a different kind of fulfillment, the kind that doesn't come from doing more, but from doing what truly matters. You prioritize people who uplift you. You choose activities that give back more than they take. And most importantly, you've stopped wasting time trying to be understood by those who never cared to listen. Time is no longer something that controls you. It's something you use gently, wisely, deliberately. That's not just wisdom, that's mastery. If you can look at your day and feel that it reflects who you are, not who you're trying to please, then you are living a life that's truly your own. There was a time when saying no felt like a failure, like you were letting someone down, or worse, proving you weren't nice enough, strong enough, or giving enough. But when you start living life on your own terms, something shifts. You begin to say no without guilt, and that's one of the clearest signs that you've stepped into self-control. It's not that you've become cold or distant. Quite the opposite. You've simply stopped betraying yourself to keep the peace. You know your limits now. You know that your energy is not infinite. And you know that being kind does not mean being available to everyone all the time. You no longer say yes just to avoid conflict. You don't overextend yourself just to feel needed. You don't attend every gathering, pick up every call, or accept every request because you've learned the sacred art of protecting your space. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to justify it anymore. You don't owe anyone a paragraph explaining why you said no. A simple, honest "I can't" is enough. That's not selfish. That's self-respect. Some may not understand. They may even take offense. But that too is part of the freedom to disappoint others if it means not disappointing yourself. And when you do say yes, it comes from a place of truth, not pressure. It's wholehearted, sincere, because you've chosen it, not because you felt cornered into it. This kind of boundary doesn't push people away. It filters the ones who truly value you. So if you've stopped explaining yourself, if you choose your peace over pleasing others, then trust me, you're more self-possessed, more free, and more powerful than you were even a decade ago. There's a kind of peace that money can't buy. And ironically, it often arrives when you stop letting money control you. If you can go to bed at night without worrying about every dollar, if you've stopped checking your bank account with dread, then that, my friend, is a powerful sign. You've taken control of your financial life and, more importantly, your emotional life around money. It doesn't mean you're rich. It doesn't mean you never have to think about bills or budgets. But it does mean you've made peace with enough. You've redefined what wealth means to you. Maybe you've simplified your lifestyle. Maybe you've paid off old debts. Maybe you've finally stopped comparing your life to people on TV or social media. But what truly matters is this. You no longer lose sleep over what you cannot buy. You focus on what you already have. Your security comes not from possessions, but from wisdom. From knowing that your time is more valuable than your net worth. That joy doesn't live in a bigger house, but in a heart that feels safe and settled. You've stopped chasing money to prove your worth. And you've stopped feeling ashamed for living within your means. Instead, you take pride in your decisions. You spend carefully. You give generously when you can. And most importantly, you're no longer afraid to say, "That's not in my budget," without feeling embarrassed. There's power in that honesty. There's pride in that restraint. And perhaps most healing of all, you no longer carry the burden of "what if I fail?" because you know now you've survived so much. You've rebuilt before, and if needed, you would do it again. That kind of financial confidence can't be faked. It's not flashy, but it's steady, and it lets you sleep soundly at night. There's a moment in life when solitude stops feeling like emptiness and starts feeling like freedom. If you can spend time alone and still feel whole, that is one of the clearest signs that you are in control of your life. Not everyone reaches this place, because the world often tells us that being alone means being lonely. But you've learned otherwise. You've discovered the quiet richness of your own company. You don't need constant noise or distraction to feel alive. You don't chase validation to feel visible. You're no longer afraid of silence, because in silence, you found yourself. Maybe you enjoy reading by the window as the sun sets. Maybe your favorite moments are long walks with no destination, or tending to a garden that asks for nothing but your presence. There's no performance here. No need to impress, to entertain, to be on. Just you, breathing, being, becoming. And it doesn't mean you've given up on people. You still value connection, you still enjoy company, but now you choose your relationships with care. Not out of fear of being alone, but out of love for your peace. You've realized that your worth isn't determined by who shows up for you, but by how deeply you've shown up for yourself. That kind of inner stability is rare. It doesn't come from books. It comes from life, from heartbreak, from healing, from years of figuring out what truly matters. When you can sit with your own thoughts and not run from them. When you can look around your space and feel safe, not restless. When your days are filled not with noise, but with meaning. That's when you know you are not just surviving, you are living fully, freely, and on your own terms. While there are many signs that show you're in control of your life, there are also quiet dangers, things that can slowly steal that freedom. Not all at once, but little by little. And often, you don't even notice until you feel lost again. So let's talk about 3 habits, 3 traps that we must avoid if we want to stay truly self-directed and peaceful in our later years. 1. Saying yes out of fear, not choice. Even now, it's easy to fall back into the pattern of pleasing others. You might agree to things not because you want to, but because you're afraid of being left out, afraid of seeming selfish, afraid of causing conflict. But when your yes comes from fear, it's not really your voice. It's a survival instinct. And over time, those small compromises add up. You find yourself exhausted, overextended, and disconnected from your own needs. To protect your freedom, learn to pause before agreeing. Ask yourself, is this what I want or what I fear losing? You're not here to live someone else's idea of your life. You've earned the right to choose for you. 2. Surrounding yourself with energy that drains you. Not all relationships nourish you. Some exhaust you. Some guilt you into staying connected just because of blood, history, or habit. But here's the truth. Just because someone has known you for decades doesn't mean they're good for your soul today. As we grow older, we become more sensitive to energy, to tone, to tension, to the unspoken weight of obligation. Pay attention. Do you feel lighter after spending time with someone? Or do you feel smaller, more tired, less seen? Your space, mental, emotional, physical, is sacred now. Guard it. You're not shutting people out. You're choosing peace over performance. 3. Believing that change is no longer possible. This is perhaps the most dangerous thought of all. This is just how I am now. I'm too old to change. It's too late for something new. When we believe we've run out of options, we hand over the steering wheel of our lives and simply coast. But here's the quiet truth no one tells you. Self-direction has no expiration date. You can still evolve. You can still heal. You can still say, this isn't working for me, and make a new decision. Don't let comfort become a cage. Don't let routine become resignation. Whether it's picking up a new habit, ending a draining commitment, or finally pursuing something you've always wanted, you still have agency. You still have time. Maybe not time to waste, but time to live meaningfully. These 3 things, fearful yeses, draining energy, and a belief that change is over, can quietly undo all the strength you've built. Not with a loud crash, but with a slow fading. So stay awake, stay honest, stay brave. Because self-control isn't something you win once and keep forever. It's something you practice every day, with compassion, with boundaries, and with faith in your own voice. So here you are, with years behind you, and life still ahead. You've seen storms, you've lost things you never thought you could live without. You've grown through quiet battles no one else saw. And now, perhaps for the first time in a long while, you're realizing something powerful. That freedom isn't loud. It's not about escaping, it's about returning. Returning to yourself. You've learned to say no with peace, to say yes with purpose, to spend time alone without feeling empty, to live simply but deeply, to choose people who see you, not just for what you give, but for who you are. And even now, especially now, your life is still yours to shape. Not every day will be easy, there will be aches, there will be doubts, but you're no longer living on autopilot. You're awake, aware, and quietly powerful. So today, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that I no longer need? What part of my life can I reclaim, gently but firmly? Where can I give myself more permission to be real, not just polite? If this video spoke to you, if you saw pieces of yourself in these signs, I invite you to share something in the comments below. Maybe a moment when you realized you'd changed, or a boundary you're proud of setting, or simply the kind of peace you now protect. Because when we speak our truth, we remind others they can too. And if this journey resonated with your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Golden Pathways. This channel was made for you, for people growing older with grace, courage, and deep self-respect. There are more stories to share, more healing to offer, and more gentle reminders that you're not alone, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be, and the path forward is still yours to walk.